Hi, my name is Professor Corder. I'm the instructor for this Physical Geography and Environment 101 lab class in Intersession 2022 at Santa Ana College. I realize that many of you are taking the lecture class and the lab class simultaneously in Intersession over this very quick 4-week session. Nevertheless, I'm going to walk through how this class works, the lab class. If you've already watched the other video for the other class, it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. So here we go. You type in sac.edu, so sac.edu, okay? And this page or a similar page is going to come up. Once that happens, if you click on Canvas up at the top, you're going to see that it brings you to this login link. You click on that, put in your information, and then what's going to happen is your Canvas dashboard is going to show up. This is my Canvas dashboard, so it looks different than yours. You find the class, in this case, it's right here for me, which is Geography 101L number 03914. Click on that, and it will open up your home page. Best thing to do is when it says start here, is start here. So if you click on that, open it up, read through it. It's not a lot there, but just read through it so you know what's going on. Very good. Then you'll see right down below it, it says, welcome to Physical Geography and the Environment 101 Lab. Yes, this is similar to start here. So the school builds in redundancy in their Canvas classes. So if you click on this, it is basically the same thing as you saw with start here, but you know, they build it in, so I use it. Click over here on the left-hand side where it says syllabus. The syllabus will open for you. You can open it up as a document if you want and then print it, or you can just have this automatically opening PDF version. Before I go through that, let me show you this. Course description, required materials are always also on here. It's a picture of me. Here's my name and who I am and information about me and how to contact me. In addition to that, if you look right here, you can see emailing me. It gives you some instructions on how to email me. Excuse me. Instructor bio, student learning objectives. Okay, so make sure you check that stuff out. There is a syllabus quiz, by the way, on this class. It's in Module 1, so just make sure that you read through the syllabus. So here's the start of the syllabus. Remember, this is all the information about your class, how to contact me, disclaimer. Me, the instructor, I reserve the right to modify the syllabus or course overview if needed. Should alterations need to occur, your understanding and flexibility are appreciated. That has to do mostly with dealing with the pandemic. You know, if everybody gets Omicron or whatever and the world has to come to an end, and you know, we have to change some things. Course name, description, format, textbook. There is no textbook for this class. Course placement and transferability. I assume that you're taking this class to put a round peg in a round hole, and you're taking a lab class because you need to get that lab component out of the way. This tells you what it's good for. DSPS statement. If you're a DSPS student, please read this and take care of everything that has to do with DSPS as quickly as possible because this class goes very fast. Student learning outcomes, course objectives, course topics, take a look at all of that. Attendance, and then course grading. So your grade will be based upon your total point accumulation through the following methods, and here's what they are. There's a syllabus quiz, there are weekly lab exercises, there's a 100-point midterm, and there's a 100-point final. So if you're taking the regular lecture class, you know that there are 4 exams. There are 2 exams in here. We do the first half of the class, you take a midterm on that, then we do the second half of the class, and you take the final on that. So the final is not comprehensive. Not comprehensive, which means it's only the second half of the class. Then grades, notice it's basically a straight scale. No exams will be dropped, no lab quizzes will be dropped. A 0 will be assigned for all lab quizzes and exams that are not completed. There are no makeups, retakes, redos, anything else. Notice this is a schedule. So we have 16 modules in a Canvas course, okay? And that's usually spread out over 16 weeks, but we're doing this in 4 weeks. So we're going to do 4 modules per week, okay? So you can see Module 1 right here, January 3rd through 8, Module 2, January 3rd through 8, Module 3, January 3rd through 8, Module 4, January 3rd through 8, and then you can see Module 5 now is January 9 through 15, and Module 6, 9 through 15, so on, like that. And then if you look down here, you can see Module 8 is your midterm, and then Module 16 is your final exam. Notice that the final exam is going to be open from January 26th to January 29th. At that point, when it closes, the class is over, grades go in. Now, if we come back up here to Module 1, I just want to point something out to you. Whoops, lost it. Sorry about that. So if you look at, here's Module 1. This tells you what the topics are, the objectives, regular effective contact. And notice this, that the syllabus quiz is worth 14 points. It's in there, and the introduction lab quiz is worth 16. Then Module 2. You know, I would probably, if it was me, I'd do Module 1 on Monday. I'd do Module 2 on Tuesday. Module 3 on Wednesday, Module 4 on Thursday, or something like that. I'd spread it out over that period of time between the 3rd and the 8th and get them all done. Notice that the labs do not all have the same amount of points. Module 2 contains Lab 1, right? The introduction lab is in Module 1. And then that's worth 18 points. Then you can see Lab 2 is worth 26 points, and so on, okay? 25 points, okay? That's the route we're going to go through this. And if you look down a little bit past that, Canvas course site, some information about that, technical support, required technology, academic honesty, and student code of conduct. Assignments in Canvas, important dates is 2, really, we have the Martin Luther King holiday on January 17th, and then notice once again, the final exam will be open from 12 a.m. on Wednesday, January 26th through 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, January 29th, because all the graded assignments are open in time frames. Please do not wait to the last minute to do something. If your internet goes down, or again, World War III happens, I cannot and will not reopen things for you. So make sure you budget your time wisely. I have found that, and the people who do this for a living like me have found that people who take a class like this in 4 weeks tend to do really well because they self-select. There might be a few people who don't make it through, but they usually drop out in the beginning. Everybody else knows what they're doing. They're in for a really, really hard 4 weeks, but in 4 weeks they get transferable credit to a university. So congratulations to you for being that hardworking person. Miscellaneous, please read through that. It's very important. Title IX citations. Okay, let's go back over here to home. When you're going to look up your grades, you just click on grades. It will open up. I'm not going to do it because everybody's grades are on there. I don't want you to see everybody else. Then modules is where we're going to start. So if you click on modules, you can see when you scroll down here. And look, yours is going to look a little bit different from mine because I'm the instructor, but it's basically the same format. Course information. So if you click on Welcome to Physical Geography and the Environment 101, all of these pages work the same way. Please read through this. Then you can come down here and click on Next. It will just bring you to the very next page, which is the accessible course syllabus. I told you there's a lot of redundancy. It's built into the class. Then you click Next again, instructor contact. Again, more redundancy, but there's the information on that. Then once again, click Next, communication plan. This is sort of unique in a lot of ways. And then click on Next again, and we get to course policies, and there they are for your class. Please, take a look at this carefully to make sure you understand what's going on with it. I'm going to come back over here to modules again. Very good. And now let's scroll down. You can see there's some other stuff in there. You can see course and etiquette, academic honesty, things like that. Getting started with NetTutor, resources, and so on. Now we're at Module 1. Remember, in the first week, you need to do Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4. All of that needs to be completed by January 8th. And then the second week, we start rolling, and everything has to be done. Module 5, Module 6, Module 7 by January 15th. So let's just take a look at Module 1. First, a quick overview. So here's the introduction. It's kind of always a good thing to kind of click on that and watch the introduction, read it. This is a syllabus quiz. Then we have the introductory lab, then the pH scale explanation, then introductory exercise water experiment, and then here's the graded component right here for this particular week, along with the syllabus quiz, which is not this week, for this day, for that week up through January 8th, the introductory lab quiz. Okay, so then you see the same basic format in Module 2. Okay, introduction, then here's the lab itself, subdividing. These are all lectures right in here, subdividing degrees. Then a couple of things about grade circle demonstration, longitude demonstration. Anytime you see more about, you do not have to watch that. It's just to accentuate what I'm talking about. But all these other things, this is how you're going to be able to complete the lab. And in a lot of cases, you need to watch it and be able to take the lab. And then you come down here, you can see that the lab quiz right there. All right, so let's take a look quickly at Module 1, and I'll just show you how this goes through. So click on the introduction. This gives you some information. Here, a dog barking in the background. It's not my dog. So you can see, read through this, watch the video, explain something about it, see if you can guess where I'm at. Then click on Next, and then you have the syllabus quiz. Make sure anytime there's anything graded, like all the quizzes and the exams, make sure you read through this information before you start, okay? And then down at the bottom, you'll be able to open it up and take it. And you can see it's available from January 2nd at 6 p.m. till January 8th at 11:59 p.m. After that point, it closes and it's done. Then if I click on Next down here, remember, I'm just going through Module 1. You can see this is the lab itself. This is what I strongly suggest. I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay, read through the lab before you do it. Okay, and then after you read through it, then go through and do the exercises. Okay, so for example, this is, let me get it back up here. This is introduction exercise number 1. Okay, so you want to complete these before you take the quiz. Otherwise, you may run the clock out on the quiz. So you don't want to do that because you have a limited amount of time once you open anything to be able to get it done. So if you complete these, a lot of these questions show up either exactly or the spirit of the question is going to show up on the quiz. So if you've got them all completed, you should be able to get through the quiz relatively efficiently. And then this is some other stuff. There's an experiment that you have to kind of go through with me, testing pH and chlorine and all the stuff in water that comes out of that fountain that's at Santa Ana College, along with bottled water. Okay? So make sure you complete that. Every one of the modules that isn't one of the 2 exams is going to have a lab on it, along with a lab quiz. So this is the explanation of the pH scale. So watch that video. This is Introduction Exercise 2, Water Experiment. So there I am, and I do a water experiment in the classroom at Santa Ana College, and you're going to answer questions based on it. So you have to watch it in order to be able to do this. And then you can see here is the lab quiz. Okay, so you just read through that, and then you can see you get 90 minutes to do it. That's why I say complete the lab before you do it, before you take the quiz, because once it closes, it closes. And notice you get 2 attempts on the lab quizzes. Okay, and then if I click next again, that's going to bring us to Module 1 summary. Okay, if we look back again, you can see that Module 2 is going to work exactly the same way. So here's Module 2. I'll just click on this right here, the Lab 1 geographic grid, and you're going to see it's going to completely open for you. You can print it if you want, if you're inclined to want to do that by clicking on Docs and then, opening it up. And so here's this lab. It's a little bit longer. And you can see that there's exercises in here. There's exercise 1.3, I just skipped over the others. So, you want to do all of these first before you start taking the quiz. Exercise 1.4 and so on, okay? Click back over here. And in order to help you out, I have lectures on the lab. So subdividing degrees, geographic grid, part 1, latitude, then longitude and grid practice, and so on, okay? And then you come down here and you can see that this is the 18-point quiz for that particular lab. Okay? Same thing, same process over and over and over. And then you'll see that when we reach Module 8, straight on down here, where are we? There's 7. There we go. There's a midterm. So that's it. That's the way this works. And you can see here are all the rest of the quizzes. If you have any questions, please make sure that you contact me, email me, and off we go, off to the races. Okay, take care. Good luck.